It is Friday, May 23rd, 2025. This is another edition of Baseball Today. That is my man, Trevor Plouffe. I am Chris Rose, producer Dan, and somewhere intern Sawyer is along for the ride as well. Happy Memorial Day weekend, my friend. I know this is a busy time for the Plouffe family.
It is a busy time. We got some other John Boy stuff kind of like taking up our normal recording hours. So we're doing this Thursday night. Don't tell anybody. But yeah, no, it's all good. We do this, Chris, because we love to talk baseball and we have a great community that likes to hear us talk baseball. So like, I have no problem, man. I'm excited to go over the games with you and maybe get some people over from podcasts only. Come to the YouTube to check out how good Chris Rose looks.
Oh, you stop that now.
You do, though. That's the first thing I said to you.
Yeah, well, it had been a while since I had colored this bad boy. I had to get the Santa look out of it. It just had, it's a nice.
You got a summer cut.
Yeah,
nice tight
summer
fade.
cut.
Yeah.
God. All right, here we go. I'm trying to eat a little bit better, exercise more frequently. You've inspired me, Plouffe. You just got the thing is when I get to where I want to go, you got to keep me there. That's my problem. I'm a Dow Joneser all over the place. Yeah. All right. Hopefully everybody spends a lot of time with their family if they're fortunate enough to be near them this weekend. And we got two tips of the cap that are family oriented. Let's start in the Bronx where Clark Schmidt's dad, U.S. Marine Corps Colonel Dwight Schmidt, actually surprised his son during Fleet Week. Clark knew he was going to catch the first pitch. He didn't know who it was from, and it was Pops. Love every second of this.
Dwight Schmidt has unlimited swagger, a great first pitch. I mean, I'm not messing with that guy. And look that's a great family photo. Clark Schmidt with the Justin Bieber hair. I actually had the same haircut in high school, Chris. I did. Not as puffy as that. Like I had long hair, but same like swooped comb over. So
pretty sure that Clark's dad, who was a retired pilot, flew the Yankee team charter somewhere a couple years ago. I remember sharing that on this show.
Okay.
Which is great. The other family story is a tearjerker. Keibert Ruiz of the Washington Nationals gets a hit against the Atlanta Braves on Thursday. Ended up being a double. That's not the big thing. Keibert Ruiz is a solid baseball player. He's had plenty of extra base hits in his career. The thing that made it special was the first time his parents had a chance to see him play in the United States. Unreal. There they are. They were in tears all night. When he did the post-game interview on the field after Washington's walk-off win, they're wiping away the tears. He's saying, I'm going to be in tears. I'm going to be crying soon.
There's nothing better, and we've talked about this before, Chris. Every guy that's in the big leagues has had help getting there. You know, whether it's your parents driving you to and from practice, the sacrifices they make. So to be able to share it finally with them, obviously the emotions are running through the roof. And that's an awesome moment that they won't forget.
He grew up in Venezuela. Awesome. Hopefully they get to see him much more than just, a weekend in the near future. That's great. All right. So the Nats have actually won 5 in a row. They ended up, I believe it was 5 in a row. They end up taking care of the Atlanta Braves walk-off hit. Now the Braves turn around. They come home for a series against the San Diego Padres. The big news here is that it's the return of Ronald, former National League MVP Ronald Acuna, back 362 days after tearing his ACL yet again. Do you expect to see the same Ronald Acuna?
I guess what same Ronald Acuna? 40-70 Ronald Acuna? I do not expect to see that. I do not expect him to steal 70 bags. I don't think he's going to be running like that. Maybe, towards the end of the season, postseason, we might see him go. But I do think he's going to be a difference maker in the lineup. Obviously, what he brings to the top of the lineup in particular, the special skill set of him being able to get on base plus have power is something that any lineup would be welcome to, but especially, what the Braves have been rolling out there. So I think the difference here is he spent a little bit longer rehabbing this. It's a full year, I think almost to the day. And the last game was May 26th last year. It's May 22nd this year. So he's given himself some time. He feels good. He's crushed it in AAA. I expect him to come back and help this team get back to the playoffs, Chris. I really do.
I think he's going to hit over 20 home runs the rest of the season. There are few guys at the top of the lineup who can provide the speed power combo that this guy has. In fact, let me just read off a few stats. Of players who have tallied at least 2,000 plate appearances from the leadoff spot, there is one player who has done so with an on-base percentage over 380 and a slugging percentage over 530. That is in the history of the sport, and his name is Ronald Acuna. I just expect him to do it. I don't know how much he's going to run. I think he's actually going to surprise us a little bit and maybe try and show us that he can. Maybe try and get quick out of the gate. I don't know. But he's one of my favorite players to watch. Just the entire package that he brings. There haven't been a lot of guys over the years that can do this whole thing. And I think he is as special as they come. I cannot wait to see him back in action.
This is what I want. I have a little fan fiction for the Braves, okay? Let me just go through this. This is what I want to see happen, okay? Ronald Acuna takes a walk, right?
Mm-hmm.
Next batter hits a ball in the gap. Ronald scores from first base. He comes in. He's happy. Snickers on the top step. I want Ronald Acuna Jr. to give a big old slap on his butt and just like them become best friends. Just totally flip the script on everybody and then them just become like buddies. Like that's what I want. And that's what I'm envisioning for the rest of the Braves season. It's just a little buddy cop movie between Snicker and Acuna.
Yeah, I had forgotten about that little social media snafu that happened a few weeks ago. So that's a good call on your part. Let's follow it up. Complete this sentence. With Acuna and now Spencer Strider back, the Braves will finish the year
in the playoffs.
Wow.
Record?
No, but I mean, how about as a wild card, as a division champ in the National League Championship Series, in the World Series, as a World Series champions? Let's try and narrow it down.
It's a wild card. I don't think they're going to win the division. I don't know, man. Like the outcomes are all over the place just because of how good the National League is. So I say a playoff team, but there ain't no guarantee of that. From what I've seen, if Strider comes back and can be Spencer Strider again and like really dominate, and they add that to the starting rotation, then they seem to me like they'd be a playoff team. But like I think that's a big if too. Like we have to see it. I wouldn't be willing to call them an NL East champion, but I would say I'd lean playoff team. But again, I'm not so sure about that.
Oh, I think they're definitely going to be a playoff team.
Okay, good.
They start the night 7.5 back of Philadelphia with the Mets squeezed in between. I'm going to say this. I think they will be champions of the National League East.
You're
and
crazy.
People, what are you saying? Well, okay, hear me out. They have played 3 games against the 2 teams ahead of them. So that means they have 10 more against the Phillies, and they have 13 against the New York Mets. And I just believe that I think they were trying to figure out how to get through without Ronald Acuna at the top of their lineup. Dude, it's not just you're bringing back Ronald Acuna. It's a little bit of what you said earlier, what they were rolling out there. The guy, the leadoff, whomever that was, it was barely a 600 OPS without him. So they're going from basically having the least production out of the leadoff spot to one of the best in baseball. And by the way, I know it could take him some time. I don't think it's going to. Wouldn't surprise me if he hits multiple home runs this weekend. I'm just putting it out there right now.
Yeah, okay? I think he'll be fine offensively. He's had enough rehab assignments in the big leagues. Isn't going to like scare him or anything. So he'll be ready to do that. I'm just trying to think like what they're. I don't think they're going to win the NL East. I don't. If they do, great. It's like I'm rooting against them, but I'm just trying to think like if they're to make the playoffs, that to me means it's one central team. It's the Cubs or whoever wins the division, because I do believe that the West is going to have 3 teams. So then that means the East can only have 2 teams.
Right.
So somebody's got to give. Or look, if the East ends up having 3 teams, that means only 2 teams in the West get in there. And like there's some good baseball. It's not a slam dunk.
Okay, it's not at all. And I think I'm playing the risky game here by saying that they're going to make up 7.5 games. So we want you guys to do the same. Complete the sentence with Acuna and Strider back. The Braves will finish the year what? Tell us where. Give us a quick sentence. You've been doing great in the comments section.
Mm-hmm.
By the way, keep hitting the thumbs up. Do that, the liking. It just helps us, helps get the word out. And y'all have been doing a tremendous job.
Cardinals fans are pissed right now. They want to make the playoffs too.
That's fine. Okay, Dodgers and Mets. First time since the NLCS. 1 in 6 games by the Dodgers a year ago. How locked in will you be to this series? And what will you be paying most close attention to?
I mean, I'll be regular locked into it. I don't think like this is like the marquee must-watch matchup. I think the pitching matchups aren't great. They're kind of the Mets are kind of catching the Dodgers like back end of the rotation. The Mets have not been hitting the ball at all either. So I think both teams are kind of coming in weird. I know the Dodgers won the series against the Diamondbacks. They just played a bunch of like great like comeback baseball. But they're an interesting team to me right now. And then the Mets are kind of like not playing their best baseball. I think there's other good series, and the Mariners Astros series is probably something I'll be tuned into a little bit more. Your Guards playing the Tigers, I think, is a really good series as well. My Twins taking on the Royals. I think those have a little bit more implications than this series does. One thing I'll pay attention to is like not Ronald Acuna, Juan Soto. Like, I want to see the attitude, Chris. I want to see like what's going on, because I really do think there's like something awry, like something's going on.
There's a little disconnect
behind the scenes, I think.
What do you think? Let's start with this. What's the reception? His first plate appearance.
I don't know. I'm not really tuned into like Mets fans, and I feel like I'm better with Yankees fans. They're usually just really mean. Like Mets fans, I feel like sometimes like to pump their guys up, so maybe they'll do that for him.
Huh. I saw a lot of, and listen, social media, what percentage of fans does it really speak for? I saw a lot of frustrated Mets fans with what transpired, not just against this old team in the Yankees, but obviously what started out at Fenway Park with not busting out of the box on the ball hit off the wall, and then him taking a ton of pitches seemingly down the middle. Like, I think there are people who are a little bit frustrated. I will be very curious I think that they will give him a standing ovation Friday night. I think that's what happens first at bat.
I mean, that's like the feel-good story. Like, yeah, crowd comes behind the guy and he does it, a la Trey Turner. But I think this is a little different because he's not like struggling. Like, effort isn't there. Like, Trey Turner's effort was there. Philly fans got behind him to get the results. Like, the effort isn't here. I think fans don't like that. So I don't know about a standing ovation.
I think so. Let us know. What do you think is going to happen? 2 other things, in my opinion, to keep your eye on, and it is a series that I will be closely watching. Last year in the NLCS, the Dodgers hit 11 homers in those 6 games. The Mets only hit 5. So will that continue? And some of the big names, right? Shohei hit 2. Mookie hit a couple. Max Muncy hit a couple. Even Pages hit a couple. And then Tommy Edman drove in 11 runs and ended up running away with the NLCS MVP. So will the Stars in LA continue to shine in this head-to-head matchup? What will we see from the Stars on the Mets side? The other thing is that going into the series against the Diamondbacks, I heard this, that the Dodgers bullpen had covered 49% of their innings. I mean, you cannot win what you want to win if you're going to keep doing that. Now, the last 2 games, Yamamoto on Tuesday, and then who was it on Wednesday that pitched for them?
It was on Wednesday. It was Dustin
I forgot.
Dustin May.
Dustin May. Okay, right. Both those guys gave them a little bit of length. But that's just too much. This weekend, Kershaw in his second start, Gonsolin, who's actually been okay, and Landon Knack, who you don't know exactly what you're going to get. I mean, if those guys are all 4 or 5 and fly, that ain't a good way to get going. So those are 2 things to keep your eye on, I would say.
Okay.
Could be a really fun series. What are you most closely looking forward to?
Ooh, how about like an Edwin Diaz Shohei Ohtani matchup?
Love it. Sign me up right now. I'm in. I want to see all the stars under the lights. Could be great. All right, it's time right now for our Like a Bosch Player of the Week. It is brought to you by Bosch Power Tools. Just like Bosch Power Tools, this player got the job done through hard work, through grit, and through determination. Mr. Plouffe, who's your Bosch Player of the Week?
I'm going with like one of the Minnesota Twins' unsung heroes of the season, Cody Clemens. Yes,
Mhm.
Roger's son has stepped up and answered the bell when Correa, Buxton, Wallner have all been on the IL. During the week, 9 for 22. It's a 409 average, 3 doubles, a triple, a homer, 4 runs driven in. And not only has he gotten the hits, but he's gotten the big hits, Chris. And that's kind of like been a storyline for him throughout his time with the Twins. Didn't start the year with them, obviously, but he's had some big knocks for them when he's got the chance to come up.
He has done a great job. However, the hottest team in baseball resides in Anaheim. Can you believe what the Angels have done? They haven't lost in a week. They have won 7 straight games. They took care of the A's up in West Sacramento. Now they head home, I believe, to take on the Miami Marlins this weekend. Taylor Ward has been out of this world good. 17 ribs in his last 10 games. He's hitting almost 400 over the last week with 3 homers. That included a go-ahead grand slam to extend their winning streak on Thursday. This is a guy, tell me if I'm off base here. He's been a solid everyday outfielder, like a mid-sevens OPS. I know one year he hit like maybe an 830 OPS mixed in. I thought maybe he was going to take off from there. He just never did. I always felt he should be like a mid-800s OPS guy. Good athlete, had a ton of pop. Can I see a 33 homer season one year?
He's streaky. Like he can carry a team as he's doing right now, but he also has times where he gets into a rut, and he was in one, Chris. And this was about 3 weeks ago, I think it was. He stayed, or he went out early and took live BP and started to work on some things. Ron Washington is making the guys do that every once in a while, and he said he found himself anchored with his back foot. And that's a great feeling to have when you feel like you can anchor that thing, and you just give yourself a little bit more time to see the ball. He's got thunder in his hands, man.
Yeah,
The
he
guy
does.
can drive the ball, so he's just seeing the ball a little bit longer, giving himself a little bit more time to make a swing decision. He's in one of those streaks right now.
Yeah, good for him and good for the Halos, who have played exceptionally well over the last week. Once again, today's episode of Baseball Today is sponsored by Bosch. When you pick up a Bosch power tool, it makes you feel empowered, confident, and appreciate no matter what job lies ahead that you're simply going to crush it. As a global leader for power tools, measuring tools, and accessories, Bosch's innovative product solutions are built with quality engineering and precision in mind. The assortment of products ensures that you have the right tools in your toolbox to tackle a variety of tasks with relative ease. Bosch's 18-volt battery platform powers numerous tools, creating a consistent energy home base that keeps the brand's family of tools running. Like your favorite players on the field, Bosch Power Tools make sure that you are powered up and ready for anything that gets thrown your way. Because the more you Bosch, the more you feel like a Bosch. So head on over to BoschTools.com today to learn more about the power tools you need to get the job done right each and every time.
Hell yeah, man.
Yeah.
Just walk around with your Bosch drill just around the house. If you're married, I guarantee it's like an aphrodisiac.
Okay.
Yeah.
Hey.
Yeah.
Power tools working this weekend. American League West battle between the top 2 teams. 4-gamer got started. Houston taking care of the Seattle Mariners in George Kirby's 2025 season debut. But you know who is back in the swing of things? Jose.
That's here with 2 outs. And
oh, yeah.
Did he do it again? You better believe it. Jose Altuve. A 2-home run game.
Hadn't homered in more than 3 weeks. Got a couple. Astros get on the board. 2.5 back of the Seattle Mariners. But the Mariners have been feeling pretty good this year, and they had done it without some of their stud pitchers who are now trickling off the injured list, led by George Kirby. How much do you trust the Seattle Mariners moving forward?
I trust them to be a good baseball team. I do. I think they figured some things out. I think the lineup has obviously been better this year. And you're right. Like they haven't had a full complement of their starting pitching, which they're going to, start to get everyone back. Bullpen's been great. We know about Andres Munoz, all those things. I think they've played exceptional. Cal Raleigh, we talked about him being like in the MVP discussions. Like things are going right for them. but they're still the Houston Astros, man. Like,
Mm.
they're the elephant in the room. They're the team that is always lurking. I know Ronel Blanco might be out for the season. That's a tough one for them. If I didn't know the Astros history, if I just didn't know, I would say, hey man, they're pretty safe. They look good. I think they look like the best team in that division. The Astros scare me, man. If you're a Mariners fan, you know exactly what I'm talking about. So I trust they're going to be a good team. Do I trust they're going to hold on to the division lead all throughout the year? No, I don't. I think there's going to be some ups and downs of things, but it's not going to be easy for them. Like, they might end up winning the AL West, but it ain't going to be easy. And I don't think they're going to hold on to it for the rest of the year. I just do not see that happening.
Okay. Does that mean that they're not going to hold on to the lead for good? Or are they just going to give it up and then they'll
I
get
think
it
they'd
back?
give it up. I think they're going to get it back. I think this is going to be a close race. And I'm curious to see, is Texas going to figure things out offensively and they're going to get into the
what a mystery they are.
I'm not so sure if they are. But like, that seems like a likely scenario too. If you really think about it, like, you could see Texas being there. You know, how much of this Angel streak means something, like how, like, their bullpen, you talk about what they did against the A's and how they hit. Their bullpen was great against the A's as well. So, like, it's probably going to be a 3-team race. It might be a 2-team race, but there's just it's the Astros that scare me.
Yeah. That's the thing. It's not that I don't trust Seattle. It's that I trust the Astros a lot to figure it out. And yeah, they're Blanco went on the What's that?
Jordan has not been a thing.
Not a thing.
That's the scariest part of all of this.
Right. That is, if you're a Mariners fan, you can talk about the guys you've missed, particularly in your rotation so far. But the fact that the Astros' best player has not done squat this year, and you look back and you're like, man, what are we up? 6 or 7? 2.5? Like, what?
It feels like they should be up more, doesn't it? For how well we keep saying they've played all these things. Christian Walker is hitting 199 with a 601 OPS. That's going to change. Like, he's going to get better. Jose Altuve with the 2-homer day, 666 OPS. That's going to get better. Then you get Jordan in as well. Mariners fans know it's coming. There's no Mariners fan out there that thinks this is going to be easy. We're going to win this division. No problem.
You can pick one team. You can pick one team to win it. Who are you picking?
Don't make me do this.
Why? That's the fun part of this whole thing. This is
to win the AL West.
Because you can either look like a genius on May 23rd, or people can make you drink shit soup at the end of September. It's perfect. This is the fun part.
I'm going Mariners. Let's go.
By the way, I don't want anybody to order shit soup this weekend. It's not in season. It's not.
Did you hear what I just had my answer?
You pick the Mariners
right over me. Yeah, I'm going Mariners.
You're kind of dressed as a body double for the Mariners with the colors.
Oh, old school Mariners. Yeah, old school. I don't know. It was hot today. This thing is see-through, basically. I don't know.
Are you showing nip?
I say Mariners, and I am not confident in that answer, Chris.
Are you showing nipple? Oh my gosh. It's too much.
Can you see?
Yeah, our audience can't handle that.
I don't know. I'll be shirt off all weekend. I promise you that. Wow. Who's your team?
Houston. They've won 8 of the last 9 AL West crowns. I'm not breaking stride now.
I'm probably more confident in Houston doing it, but I want the Mariners to win it. And I want Cal Raleigh to win it. Okay, hold on. Schedule watch.
No.
Yes. Just a second, Chris. People like these longer episodes anyway. Don't rush me.
I know, but the schedule watch on May 23rd?
I want to see at the end of the season what's going to happen. That's all.
Okay. All right.
Okay.
Yeah. Go for it.
So it's not great. They play. No, I'm just no. Seattle ends with the Dodgers. By that time, the Dodgers should probably be just like coasting in. They end at home, Colorado Dodgers. What I wanted to see was when the last time they played Houston was, and that is the third to last series. They're at Houston for 3.
Okay. Let us know who's your AL West favorite. We barely talked about the Texas Rangers. Bless you. Bless you and bless you. Let us know down in the comments section. All right, let's move on here. ALDS rematch. It was in Motown, and drama yet again between the Guardians and the Tigers. Cleveland had a 3-0 lead going into the 8th. Tigers put the first 3 men on base. Stephen Vogt makes a pitching change. Brings in Cade Smith. What does he do?
1-2 pitch. Swing and a miss. He struck him out. Struck him out.
Yep. There you go.
Blew
Great,
it right by him.
job.
Unbelievable job.
You ain't kidding, Cade Smith. And he hasn't been nearly as sharp as he was a year ago, but that was far and away the best inning he has thrown, and really was an important game for Cleveland, the first of 4 against Detroit, which has been riding all this wave of a momentum, the first 7 weeks of the year, and Cleveland's been rickety all over the place. They haven't been hitting. Their starting pitching has been blah, and even the bullpen has accumulated some dents on their rocky road. This was a tremendous effort, as good an effort as you'll see out of a bullpen piece with the game on the line.
I mean, there's nothing better than that. Speaking as a position player, getting put in that situation, having a guy come in and just blow people's doors off, it's awesome to see.
Yeah.
So, shout out Cade Smith.
All right, so it's kind of a fun weekend in the Central. You already mentioned the 2 series, Cleveland and Detroit, and then Minnesota playing host to Kansas City. How sizable is the gap, whomever you feel like is the best team and whomever you feel is the 4th best team out of that quartet?
It's like on paper and like in my head, like just looking at these teams and watching them play, I think there is a sizable gap, and I would go Detroit number 1. And then it's hard for me to decide between Kansas City and Cleveland for 4. I think the Twins are the second best team in that division, just overall, especially when everyone's healthy. You might not agree with that, and last season obviously didn't agree with that either. But when I just look at these rosters, I think the Tigers are the best team, and the Twins are the second best team, and then Guardians and Royals are kind of jumbled there. So it looks like there is a sizable gap, but then when these teams play each other, like there isn't a gap. Like these teams are all really close. I mean, so I think the Tigers are going to win the division. I think there's no doubt about that.
Welcome over to the dark side.
I do. Like they just continue to impress me. Like the starting pitching is really good. Like the hitters they have enough offense, and I'm hoping the guys that are providing the offense continue to do it, because it's been a fun story to talk about. McKinstry, Torkelson, and Baez. I don't know. What do you think? Because I'm kind of talking about your Guardians, and you know their deficiency is better than anybody.
Oh yeah,
great in one-run games, all these things, but like their offense doesn't compare to the Tigers, and probably not the Twins when the Twins are going well. Like, but again, they just beat the freaking Tigers 7-0.
Yeah, in one game.
But that's what it is when it comes down to it, Chris. These series, like say they got into the playoffs and to play each other. Like I don't. Like the Tigers will be the favorite, but like I don't think it would be an easy series for the Tigers at all.
No, it wouldn't be. They're really interesting because the deficiencies feel so glaring with some of these squads. Cleveland, their lineup, it's their 2 best players are 5'8". Like you roll them off the bus, the other team's gonna be like, those are the 2 best guys they got. Like they just don't have a lot of dudes that scare you. Kansas City. We've talked about the starting rotation. It is World Series caliber. I know that Lugo and Riggins are on the injured list, but they'll both be back shortly, I do imagine. I still can't believe how few home runs that team hits. It just doesn't make any sense whatsoever. I know Vinny's kind of heated up a little bit, but not a ton. We're kind of waiting for Jack Caglione to get up here and make his debut, and that feels like that's a June call-up at the latest. I think they have to roll the dice. I know he just got promoted to AAA.
They got to get him up here.
Yeah, just give it a shot because the team is good. And the Twins, whom I watched closely this week in a couple of games against the Guardians, even without Buxton and Correa, they're
missing a ton of. I mean, they're missing probably their 3 best offensive players right now.
Who was the
I guess Royce Lewis will be in that. It's Wallner, Correa, and Buxton.
Yeah, they were without Wallner too, right?
He's on his way back. He's rehabbing. Correa is just getting lifted off the IL. Like I do think that their offense, when everyone's healthy and on the field, can be good.
I do think Rocco can't get out of his way sometimes watching his game management. And I do think that when the teams are that competitive, sometimes the managers Yeah, I know you don't think the managers do much. I sure as hell think they can do a lot of wrong.
Well, yeah, he's very analytically driven with his decisions. A lot
Yes,
of them
he
are
is.
mapped out. Sometimes I don't agree with them. How about this, Chris? Talk about all these teams. Team ERA, Royals, second in baseball with a 3.03.
Mhm.
Twins, fourth in baseball with a 3.28. Tigers, sixth in baseball with a 3.36. Guardians, not where you'd expect them to be. 18th with a 4.03.
That's exactly where I
Well,
expected them to be.
you, because you follow them very closely.
Yeah,
I'm just saying.
but also the bullpen hasn't been as dependable as it was. I mean,
Yes.
how the hell could it be? Last year they had 4 guys, top 70 appearances, and a sub-2 ERA. That is freaking unheard of.
I
It'll be
believe
fun.
the Tigers are 6th in pitching ERA and 6th in OPS. That's a pretty good team.
Yep, they are good. All right, let's head north, as in North of the border. A sweep in Toronto, and yeah, the Jays got something special going in extras.
Through the left side, a base hit. And Nathan Lucas walks it off.
Yeah, sending San Diego to a 6th straight defeat, but we're not focused on them. We're focused on the Blue Jays kind of here because they're 1 over 500. They're second now in the American League East. Trev, we're now more than a quarter of the way through the season. Everybody's played pretty close to 50 games. So that's well more than a quarter of the season. Is Toronto the toughest team to pinpoint exactly what they are?
I don't really know how to answer that question. I mean, they've been playing better ball as of late. The bullpen has kind of found their way, even though Hoffman blew a save today. Like, they've been pretty damn good. Some of that has to do with the fact they're facing San Diego, whose offense has just been really bad as of late. What's the question again?
The
They're
question
the
is,
hardest
are they
team
the
to, like, know
toughest?
what they are?
Yeah, because I feel like a quarter of the season in any sport. Now, you could always be surprised because last year the Mets were dog shit for the first 2 months and then went on this ridiculous run. So it can change. But I feel like when you're 45, 50 games into a year, you kind of know what you're looking at. And even if a team's not playing well, you say, well, I feel like they could really kick it into gear and go. Or you feel like there's a team playing over its head and you're like, no, that's not going to be the finished product. Can you figure out what Toronto is? Do you know exactly what they are?
I think they're a team with a low floor and a high ceiling. So I guess to answer your question, yeah, they are one of the hardest teams to figure out what they can
Are
do.
they the hardest team to figure out? Just pick one of the 30.
I don't know, Chris. I mean, what are the Guardians? I always ask you that. I have no idea. Sometimes I don't understand anything about them.
Can
What
I
are the
give you my
Texas
answer?
Rangers, dude? Like, there's a lot of teams you could
There's
say
a good
that
one.
about.
That's a good one. The
What are
Rangers
what are the Red Sox, Chris? My goodness.
Good
So, like,
one.
there's a bunch of teams you could say that about. For me, the Blue Jays, listen to them talk after this series. They're playing what they think is the best brand of baseball that they can play right now. Got back to 500. I mentioned they've kind of found something with their bullpen. Early in the season, it was super taxed, but they haven't had to throw like that before. So now they got some lefties in the back in the bullpen that showed up today. Fluharty going through that Merrill and Sheets little lane right there in the middle of this Padres lineup did a really good job. Rodriguez has found his role, and Schneider's using him correctly. Offensively, I think Vlad's been good. Bichette's been pretty good. Lucas has been like kind of a nice little find for them. Addison Barger, who's had like better and better at bats, like they just got Varsho back. Like they have enough offensive firepower to be a good team, but we've said that about them before and it just hasn't happened. So like I do believe like they have a low floor, but they also have a high ceiling. I don't know what else to say about this team. Like I think there can be a streaky team, and they've kind of shown that throughout this year already.
Yeah, they've got a lot of talent, and you all know where I sit with the Blue Jays over the last couple of years, so I'm not going to touch them. For me, the team I cannot figure out, Cincinnati Reds, who the hell are you? Last weekend, you sweep the Guardians. You held them to 6 runs in 3 games. The series on either side of that series sweep, you lost to the White Sox. You lost to the Pirates. Who are you? At the beginning of the year, we said, okay, Matt McClain's back. Other than Ellie and Matt McClain, who's going to help this offense? Well, Ellie's OPS is a little bit over 700, and Matt McClain's is under 600. So they haven't been the answers. 6 of your next 9 games are against the Chicago Cubs, the first place Chicago Cubs. You are activating Hunter Green to return. So here's your rotation. Green, Martinez, Abbott, Singer, Lodolo. We're ready to go. Show me what you are. And by the way, you don't play a dog team until the end of the first half of the season. Every team you play from here on out believes that they're a playoff team until you get to July 7th. You finish the first half with Miami and Colorado. So maybe actually that's good news because you keep losing these dog shit teams. So maybe if we keep them off the schedule for a while. My point is that you have a chance to show us what you are. Right now, you're basically a 500 team. We all thought that Terry Francona was going to come in and wave his magic wand and poof. There are going to be 8 games over 500.
Nobody thought that.
Bullshit. That is not true. Go talk to the people in Cincinnati. I have some dear Reds fans who were saying, hey, David Bell was the problem. He was the problem with this organization. We got a Hall of Fame manager. He's going to make the difference. And guess what? We're kind of stuck in the same spot as last year.
14th in OPS. I thought it would be worse, because I did a whole rant on these guys on Talking Baseball about their starting pitching is great. And like they have their prospects, their high level prospects are all starting pitchers. So like something's got to give, whether you trade Nick Martinez, who's a free agent after this year. I talked about trading Nick Lodolo, who has 2 more years after this. Like something has to give. You have to deal from an area of strength to fix your deficiencies. And right now, I think it's the offense. They haven't got anything from, Candelario's been hurt, but obviously nothing from him, nothing from McClain, nothing from Spencer Steer, all these guys. Is that all they need? Is a couple bats? I don't really know. The bullpen's been pretty good for them too, Chris. Like it is. I know what you're saying. I tend to agree with you. Like they are a team that we just expect a lot out of because of the names on the roster, but it just doesn't ever really come into fruition.
So leave a comment. Who's the team that's most puzzling to you that you cannot figure out?
That was a confusing question, okay? Because I didn't know if you wanted me to talk about the Jays or pick a different team.
Pick any team you wanted.
I was confused, Chris.
You can always text me ahead of the show and say, what did you mean here?
Well, I was working hard today.
I
do think that the Blue Jays are a hard team to figure out as well.
Enigmatic,
yeah.
All right, before we get out of here, the New York Yankees visit the worst team in baseball, unfortunately, the Colorado Rockies. They're off to the worst start since since humans were invented or something like that. Well, this also will mark the first time ever that Aaron Judge is going to play a game at Coors Field. It's the only active stadium in which he has not taken a cut at. I think the last time they were there, he was injured, couldn't play. So, 2 questions. Will he hit a home run this weekend?
Yeah. Yes.
Second question, how far will it go?
635 feet. No, I don't know. Chris, I don't freaking know. What's his longest homer? Dan, you probably have that off
I think
the top
it's
of your
496 feet. Does that sound right?
496. Give me a 500 shot.
No.
Yeah.
Come on.
Yeah.
500 feet. That's about as far as where Zach Hampel was standing, where he outboxed.
I know. I was going to say, hit one above that concourse where we were standing. I think, yeah, why not, Chris? Like, you're asking me to make a prediction. Let's get bold with it, baby. You think Aaron Judge can't hit a ball 500 feet? You're crazy, especially in Colorado.
I didn't say he can't. I just didn't say they would this weekend. I still can't believe he got boxed out by Zach Hampel. That was disappointing.
I didn't get boxed out, Chris. He came out of freaking nowhere.
Yeah. I think he got boxed out. I think he was the more physical player that day.
Yeah. Well, look, we can have a rematch. If I knew he was there, I would have got physical. I was just going up to make the catch and not trying to hurt all the little kids by me. He didn't care about that.
You know what? You should have brought Matthew and gotten on his shoulders and caught the ball.
Was I even friends with Matthew at that time?
That's a good question. I don't know. I am going to say that Aaron Judge will hit a homer, and it will go 437 feet. Mark the tape. We're bringing this back next week.
505 feet.
Stop it. It's not going to happen. I hope it does. It'd be fun. Love to bring that back. All right, everybody have a good, most importantly, safe Memorial Day weekend. Go out and have fun. This is a John Boy dad now talking to you, please. Go have fun. Be responsible. It has never been easier to call, whatever
Yes.
ride service, friends. If you are the one in charge, be in charge. Be smart. Okay. We want everybody to return.
Don't
back
let
to
anyone say I just had a few.
No,
No, it's
that
the
is not-
worst, dude.
We don't play those bullshit games around
No, we
here.
do not.
We
Hell
do
no.
not. And if you're a friend and you see somebody that is in need, you take their keys, you call them a car. Okay. Shit. If you need it, I'll Venmo you the money. I
I
don't
was
care.
gonna say, if someone had to take a Uber this weekend, Chris will buy somebody's and I'll buy somebody's.
I will. Shit. I want everybody back here. Seriously.
Just don't go Uber Black though. Just go Uber.
Yeah. Keep it minimum. It doesn't have to be share. Well, maybe share. Maybe share. We are off on Memorial Day. Okay. We're going to take a day here, spend it with our families. Hope everybody understands that. We will be back bright and early on Tuesday. We cannot wait. For our one-of-a-kind producer, Dan Rourke, and our intern, Sawyer, that is the uber-talented Trevor Plouffe. I am Chris Rose. Have a wonderful Memorial Day weekend, everybody. We'll see you Tuesday on Baseball Today.